He said, I shall give you hunger and pain and sleepless nights. Also, glimpses of the heavenly life.
Any artist is going to go through good and bad.
When I chose to be an actor, it was not because I wanted to be famous, but because I wanted to make a contribution.
And it's had such a lasting impression on my memory.
Something about it caught the imagination.
100%. The universe often rewards us for those things.
What do you want to do? And I said, well, how about that?
Oops. Leonard Nimoy is an Emmy Award-nominated actor who played the iconic Mr. Spock in the original Star Trek series. TV Guide named Spock one of the greatest TV characters of all time. He's also an accomplished director, poet, memoirist, and photographer. Mr. Nimoy, welcome to Artist Talk.
Thank you for having me, I appreciate it.
And I'll try very hard not to fan out.
Okay.
And just stick to the questions, okay?
Okay.
So let's get into it.
Deal.
Your father did not want you to be an actor. He suggested that you play the accordion. Right. Why'd you choose not to?
He was a sweet guy. He couldn't understand how a person could make a living as an actor.
Right.
He came from the old country, what they call the old country in Russia,
Right.
in a small village. And for him, actors were the people who came to town in a troupe, and they would do a performance in the middle of town. Everybody would gather around on a night, and then they would pass a hat to collect some money.
Yeah.
They would steal a loaf of bread, make love to the mayor's wife, and leave the next morning.
Okay.
That's what actors did. You know? So when I told him I wanted to be an actor, he said, learn to play the accordion.
Yeah.
I never followed that advice. So.
How did you feel when you were first presented the role for Spock? What was your first reaction?
I had mixed feelings about it.
Especially as an Aries.
Yeah.
A fellow Aries.
We're in the same territory. Yeah.
That's right.
I had mixed feelings about it. I was excited about some steady work because I hadn't had a lot of steady work for a long time. I was a freelance actor. On the other hand, I was concerned about what the makeup was going to look like.
The ears.
When I met, the ears specifically, yeah. When I met Gene Roddenberry, he told me a very interesting story about this character, which attracted me to the character, the idea that the character was going to be half human, half alien. And I thought that would be a very challenging and interesting way to develop a character. A character with an interior personal life that I could relate to, that I had feelings about.
Was it a challenge to play such a stoic character juxtaposed to Shatner's Captain Kirk?
It was, and it took me a little while to figure out how to do it, because my training was, as an actor, to use my emotions. And this was a character whose emotions were locked up intentionally. He had emotions. When we first started shooting, I wasn't ready to do that. I hadn't quite figured it out. And
How
I learned
to be an actor that emotes no
exactly,
emotion.
Exactly.
Which is genius.
Actors emote, that's right. This
Genius.
was a character who was non-emotional, or did not emote. The fact that Shatner was overt, was broad and theatrical, made it more interesting for me to be able to lay back and make comment on what was happening rather than act out on what was happening. So it took a little while, but I found a way.
The Vulcan salute, which is my favorite, was influenced by your experiences in the Orthodox synagogue.
Right.
Did you consider Spock to be rabbinical in any kind of way?
I didn't think of that, no. I wasn't thinking in religious terms, no. But I was looking for some magic. We were doing an episode where we were going to see Spock go to his home planet. And it was the first time we were going to see his planet, and the first time we were going to see other Vulcans. So it's important stuff. I'm looking for ways to add something to the Vulcan story.
You personally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as the actor.
Okay.
And I said to the director, I think it would be interesting if we can find some special thing that Vulcans do when they greet each other. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, humans shake hands, military people salute each other, Asian people bow to each other. He said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, how about that? He had no idea what it was or where it came from.
Wow.
But he said, okay. I first saw it done in a synagogue. I must have been 9 or 10 years old, sitting with my father There comes a moment where several men get up in front of the congregation on the stage and they chant a prayer. The prayer I learned later translates to, may the Lord protect you and keep you, may the Lord cause his countenance to shine upon you and grant you peace. It's in the New Testament as well as the Old Testament. They're yelling it in Hebrew. I had no idea what they were saying, but they were doing this with their hands to the congregation, both hands. Wow. Got their heads covered with their prayer shawls, and out from under the prayer shawls, they're sticking these hands doing this. I thought that's pretty magical.
I'll tell you what's really magical is that that's what you saw when you were 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah.
And somehow through the ether and through the actions of all of us as humans, somehow it was on a television screen, and I seen that as a child.
Yeah.
And it's had such a lasting impression on my memory, and anyone that knows anything about my music knows that that is absolutely like our salute. And then it comes from you.
Something about it caught the imagination.
100%.
Yeah. You have a certain amount of leeway to try to develop moments for yourself, to find nuggets in there.
The universe often rewards us for those things.
I had them touching their fingers with each other like this as they walked, you know, which created something a little special.
And you were a little concerned with the ears at first.
I decided to go for the scary choice.